Jon Stewart responded to a challenge from Elon Musk. And I'm going to say something unpopular in circles like mine. Elon fumbled this. Jon Stewart had been trying to get Elon Musk on the program, and Elon Musk responded with something we'll talk about, and then Elon, I think, fumbled it. I think Elon should have thought a little bit more about how he framed the rules for an interaction. Now, we can't talk with Elon or about him these days without recognizing things that are going on to him. Elon wrote on Twitter-X on March 10th, there was and still is a massive cyber attack against X. We get attacked every day, but this was done with a lot of resources, either a large coordinated group and or a country's involved, tracing, ellipses, ... in other words. Doge designer, first protests against Doge, then Tesla stores were attacked, now X is down. I know from experience that leftists in digital will do absolutely anything to destroy Republicans. When I was running the digital stuff for the Republican National Committee, we got attacked when we launched a new website, and we learned that these guys know everything we're doing. They attacked us with images that were offensive and images that were illegal, meaning they had those images that were illegal sitting around ready to use. We had a massive distributed denial of service attack against us. We learned a lot. Next time we launched, we set up a honeypot for them. They thought they had us hacked. They thought they had us ready to take down. And then we launched from a whole different set of servers with the content development networks behind us. And it was fun to watch them in their chat groups because we'd infiltrated their chat groups. So we learned they're willing to do anything to destroy Republicans. And it's not just denial of service attacks anymore. Of course, it's attacks against Tesla facilities. They've been burning them down. There is an activist in Washington state who has organized and target Elon. Well, she says it's target Tesla, but it's really target Elon. So we can't talk about Elon Musk without mentioning this, and we can't talk about Jon Stewart without asking Jon Stewart, do you intend to say anything to your audience of barking seals, such as, please don't go down and burn Tesla facilities. Please don't destroy people's Tesla cars. Or are you going to ignore that? I'm betting he's going to ignore that. He's this clever man, Stewart. He's the guy who invented a technique called clown on, clown off. It's a brilliant, brilliant technique. See, the clown on is when Jon Stewart is mocking everybody and mocking this situation and mocking this outcome. And then people come along and say, well, you know, you're kind of biased. You never mock this. Oh, hold on, wait a minute. I'm just a comedian. I'm just a comedian, and I'm just doing comedian things. And then when he wants to make some serious social commentary, like when he, I think, heroically went and helped the firefighters in New York, I thought that was a great move. There were people who said, wait a minute, you're a comedian. We should listen to you and your opinion. Oh, just because I'm a comedian, I don't get to have an opinion? It's a great tool. Clown on, clown off. Here's Jon Stewart using that tool in combination. And he is devastatingly good at this because his writers are devastatingly good at putting words in his mouth. Have you seen Jon Stewart when he's not being written for?
And 2 weeks into the Trump presidency, we have a better sense of the evil and powerful forces that have been dragging our once great nation into decline.
The Trump administration removed transgender references from federal government websites. It now reads LGB instead of LGBT.
The Trump administration ordering all gender ideology references be removed, including pronouns and email signatures.
Oh, yeah. Consonants and pronouns. Your next prepositions. No more pronouns and email signatures. Good luck signing your emails now, President Xi.
He is a good
Those are just the actions that this president has taken to prove that he's still kind of a
clown on, clown off. You can believe what you like about gender ideology. Choose your belief. Here's what you can't ignore. It's divisive. It causes people to question truth. And it's going to remain divisive. It has harmed families and society. But when he does clown off, clown on thing, He gets to do the social commentary and the performance, and he doesn't have to have any of the nuance or consideration for things like that dynamic. And Elon Musk had said he would go on the program if Jon Stewart would agree to a certain scenario. We'll talk about this and why Elon Musk was right to agree to this scenario, but something Elon should go back to Musk as a second offer, because at this point, I don't think Elon can afford to not go on. I mean, not afford. He can afford anything, but I think he should go on. I'd say what he should do here in just a second. Jon Stewart, I believe, still does his program and his other videos out of the state of California. You know, Elon Musk moved out of the state of California. That's where he's taken Tesla now to Texas. Our friends at Allen Soaps, they're still in California. Allen is 13. He's been through 18 operations. He needs a support system. That's where the family is. That's where his school is. He's not a guy that's really going to be good at moving these days. He is so affected by autism that he's effectively nonverbal, and he has learned to live within this government school system. He's mainstreamed. He has a tablet that he can kind of communicate with, but he's a kid who has a job after school. Every single day he goes home to Allen Soaps. He's either doing packaging or quality control, and occasionally he invents new fragrance of his soap, and then a family takes over. Not Allen and his family. John is his dad who runs the company, but a family back in the Midwest. They take the soap designs and they make them with no chemicals, all natural, all made in America. And that family has 3 generations of soap making expertise. Then we get involved and ask you to buy the soap. Not just because we want to sell soap. Honestly, there's not a lot of margin in soap, but there is great, great, great activity in building the kingdom because all these lives matter. Allen probably couldn't get a job. In fact, doctors had offered to end Allen's life. And John and his wife said, no, we hire people like this. Allen's a great employee. He's a great inventor. His brother, Ian, also impacted by autism, is equally great. So is Amy. That's why we do this. So you can continue to purchase soap from big companies that may not like your values, or you can go to allensoaps.com/Todd, get 10% off all their products there. And it's more than just the soap. It's the mission. All lives do matter. allensoaps.com/Todd. So Elon Musk did agree to go on the program with Jon Stewart, but he had conditions. I wish he would have thought about one additional rider to those conditions.
We had some critiques about Doge after the show. Governor Musk tweeted, or X'd, I guess, that he would like to come on here and talk to me as long as the show airs unedited. So I thought about it, but after thinking about his offer, I thought, you know, hey, that's actually how the in-studio interviews normally air. is unedited.
Did you catch it? Normally. That's an interesting word. Normally.
So, sure.
So he accepted. He accepted.
As a matter of fact, let me sweeten or unsweeten the pot. The interview can be 15 minutes, it can be an hour, it can be 2 hours, whatever. I'll be honest, I don't think this network makes any other program.
That's a good line, man.
We do whatever the we want.
Oh, wait, he cussed. Did he cuss? He does that? Wow, that is edgy. That's
as long as we wrap before the new season of South Park, which comes out in like May or June of 2026. So I am game. I think it'll be a very interesting conversation.
So Elon should have thought about one ... I will do the show if it airs unedited ... And I'll tell you what I think the ... should be. Jon Stewart is a skilled performer with great writers. Elon should have said, in a neutral location, with a neutral audience. He gets to recruit people from X-Twitter, and Jon Stewart gets to collect people or recruit people from his socials, or his website, or his email list. Put 500 people in a room, in a neutral location, no writing crews, no teleprompters, no notes. Sit down and have the conversation that way. I don't know if Jon Stewart would agree to that. Maybe he would. He continued to critique this conversation with and about Elon Musk, not yet with.
But then I checked X again, and I saw another tweet from Elon because you can't not. And he then said, after saying I'd like to come on, Jon Stewart cannot be trusted, and that I am a propagandist, and you give me too little credit. And that I am not bipartisan. Again, the guy who custom made his own dark MAGA hat that he wears to opine in the Oval Office with the president who he spent $270 million to elect, thinks I'm just too partisan.
Clown on, clown off. He is not bipartisan. Elon spent his life prior to this voting for and donating to Democrats. Why the change? Because of the radicalization that Jon Stewart, in the first clip we played today, refuses to recognize. Radicalizing truth, seizing it, forcing people to identify others in a way that they think is false. That's radical. So it should have been the show airs live and unedited in a neutral location. Half of the audience he gets to select from X, that's Elon, half that Jon Stewart gets to collect from his base of people, email list, whatever. That's how it should have gone down. And this is the way it should go down. But there's other reasons to not trust Jon Stewart, and it has to do with the talent the man possesses, because it is immense, and it's not a talent Elon possesses.
I guess what I would say is this. Look, Elon, I do have some criticisms about Doge. I support, in general, the idea of efficiency and delivering better services to the American public in cheaper and more efficient ways. And if you want to come on and talk about it on the show, great. If you don't want to, sure. But can we just drop the pretense that you won't do it because I don't measure up to the standards of neutral discourse that you demand and display at all times? Because quite frankly, you know it, I know.
The standards of discourse that Elon lives up to are the standards of discourse that come out of his head. Elon doesn't have writers. He doesn't have words put into his mouth. Sometimes he makes mistakes that people choose to make into something else. Your show is almost completely crafted, and you are absolutely brilliant at reading the lines, and I am sure that you ad-lib a ton of things because you're gifted that way. The way this should be is it's live, unedited, neutral location, half an Elon audience, or at least people you would think would be supportive of Elon, coming from X-Twitter, and half from Jon Stewart's audience. No notes, no writers, sit down, two dudes, have the conversation. Block the day. You can both agree when it's done, or one of you could tap out. Elon is wise to not trust the Mockingbird media because they're not trustworthy. Just some reviews on that. Now, this isn't Jon Stewart's fault, but let's just go back and way back in media history. Do you remember George Zimmerman? He's a weird cat. He's a troubled man in my mind. You remember him from the Trayvon Martin case, the tragic death of Trayvon Martin, who decided to try to kill George Zimmerman and himself got Zimmerman acting completely in self-defense. Here's what NBC News did. And they lost a defamation case based on this, one of the many cases media's lost. Here's how they edited the 911 call from George Zimmerman describing Trayvon Martin.
This guy looks like he's up to no good. He looks black.
Did you see what he was wearing?
Yeah, a dark hoodie.
This guy looks like he's up to no good, or he's on drugs or something. It's raining and he's just walking around looking about. Okay, and this guy, is he white, black, or Hispanic?
He looks black.
Did you see what he was wearing?
Yeah, a dark hoodie, like a gray hoodie.
NBC's apology. During our investigation, it became evident there was an error made in the production process that we deeply regret. We'll be taking the necessary steps to prevent this from happening in the future and apologize to our viewers. An error occurred. Yeah, we accidentally made it seem like George Zimmerman was a raging racist because the guy didn't look right because he was black. That's one instance. All sorts of reasons to not trust the media. Now, I would say Stewart maybe not do this, but remember, he said usually the interviews air unedited. Usually. If only we could find a recent example of the media doing such a thing.
But it seems that Prime Minister Netanyahu is not listening.
Well, Bill, the work that we have done has resulted in a number of movements in that region by Israel that were very much prompted by or a result of many things, including our advocacy for what needs to happen in the region.
But it seems that Prime Minister Netanyahu is not listening.
We're not going to stop pursuing what is necessary for the United States to be clear about where we stand on the need for this war to end.
You remember that. I think you all do. Of course, they're trying to make Kamala Harris look good. And they may well still end up paying for that in even bigger ways, praise God.